Hey, and welcome back to the Lost Artistry Lash channel. Today you're going to be hanging out with me, Anna, one of the educators here at Lost Artistry, and I'll be walking you through how to create this fluffy yet textured lash set right here. So let's jump into it. To begin the service, I'm starting off with applying my eye pads. Raelle, my model, already went ahead and cleansed her entire eye area, so I know that her lashes are squeaky clean. One thing I'd like to note about pad placement is that there is no one size fits all, so you may have to get creative with each client when it comes to placing your eye pads. You just want to make sure that the eye pads aren't sitting too low where you can't see what you're doing, and you also don't want them to sit too high where they can potentially poke and irritate the eyes. All right, let's map her out. So I'm starting off with my emphasis area, which is in the middle. I'm doing an open eye map because that's just what Raelle likes. And my longest length is going to be a 13 millimeter, and then I'm going to drop down to a 10 on the outer corner. And my shortest length on the inner corner is going to be 8. These lengths represent my spikes. For the middle and bottom layer, I'm bumping down 2 millimeters for my narrow fans, and this will create soft texture. We don't want to go too crazy because Raelle just likes more of a natural grow out with very soft texture and a little bit of fluff. So that is my plan going into the set. Okay, so to begin, I'm starting off on the top layer, and you can see that I'm using a second pair of eye pads and placing them over top of all the lashes. I do this for almost every single client because it helps me identify that top layer so I can really focus on shaping the set. By the way, my GOC, aka glue of choice, is Quickie. I've lashed Raelle many times before in the past, so I feel pretty confident working with her lashes, but if I feel like Quickie dries too fast for me, then I'll probably switch over to Sino-Free. All right, we're weaving out that top layer, then we're gonna jump into application. Don't worry, I'm gonna zoom you guys in just a second so you can see up close and personal. I'm using our Ultra Dark Handmade Volume line in 0.05 because they were designed to have a loose base, meaning that it'll be much easier for me to wrap the base around the natural lash so we can get that bomb retention. So when it comes to creating textured sets like this, it's really important to keep a few things in mind when creating your spikes. For one, I want to make sure that every spike I apply is about the same width. If I had different dimensions, then it might be noticeable that some spikes are thicker than others. So try and keep that in mind when creating your spikes. You also want to avoid inconsistent placement because this can create a staggered effect, which will compromise your shaping. I aim to place 0.5 millimeters away from the skin, especially with Raelle because she does have blonder lashes, and if I place too far, that can give her the appearance of blonde roots, and nobody wants that. Direction is another key factor when it comes to placing your spikes. Any misdirected or wonky looking lashes will throw off the set, so if you see them, go ahead and remove it. I promise you will not regret it. Now that all of our spikes are applied, it's time to check them out using our inspection mirror. I can tell that the direction looks good, all the spikes are equally spaced out, and now it's time to fill in the rest with our narrow fans. I checked to make sure that none of the lashes were stuck to the eye pads before removing them, otherwise that would be low-key painful. Now I'm just using the same iPad to pull back the upper layer so I can access the middle and bottom layer. Okay, so my game plan for my fans is to keep them ultra lightweight because Raelle does have very weak natural lashes. I don't know if you can tell just by looking at them, but they are super fine. If I use anything too heavy, they're gonna droop down, obstruct her vision, and they're not gonna be very comfortable. I believe I also added in some 0.03s as well, again to add some more softness and to make sure that the fans I was using were ultra lightweight. So I ended up getting full coverage along the bottom layer and almost full coverage along the middle layer. As for the middle layer, I stuck to the same mapping as the bottom, but kind of feathered a few longer lengths throughout just to give kind of a more wispy result, which is exactly what Raelle was looking for. Okay, so at this point here, we decided to go live over on our Instagram. So that's the end of application shots, but here is how the set is looking. And now it's time to apply Superbonder. By applying Superbonder directly to the base where the extensions are applied, it locks in all of those glue fumes and adds elasticity to the bond, making sure that the lashes hold on nice and strong for a long-lasting hold. And here you have it, the final result from our strip lash look. I would love to hear in the comments below what you think and if you plan to recreate it. Thanks so much for joining me on today's tutorial, and we'll see you again on the next one.